In a world teetering on the edge, where shadows lengthen and uncertainty reigns, there exists a force more potent than any weapon, more resilient than any wall: hope. But what is hope, really? Is it naive optimism? A childish fantasy? Or is it something far more profound, a psychological necessity for survival? Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of hope, exploring how it functions as our mental lifeline in the face of adversity. We'll uncover the science behind its power, the strategies for cultivating it, and why it's not just a feel good emotion, but a crucial component of human flourishing. What if hope isn't just wishful thinking, but a skill, a muscle you can strengthen? To understand hope, we need to understand despair. Throughout history, humans have faced countless crises: wars, plagues, famines, three moments where the future seemed utterly bleak. Imagine the stench of the Black Death or the bone-chilling cold of Valley Forge. Dr. Eleanor Vance, a renowned psychologist, once said in a 1970s interview, "Hopelessness is a dangerous state. It's not just sadness, it's a paralysis of the will. When people lose hope, they stop fighting, they stop trying, and that's when things truly fall apart." But even in the darkest of times, there were always those who clung to hope, not as a passive wish, but as an active force. They believed in a better future, even when all evidence pointed to the contrary. This wasn't blind faith, but a cognitive choice, a conscious decision to focus on possibility rather than despair. So, what's the psychology behind this resilience? How do some people manage to maintain hope when others succumb to despair? Research shows that hope isn't just a feeling, it's a cognitive process, a way of thinking about the future. It involves two key components: goals and pathways. Goals are what we want to achieve, the things we aspire to. Pathways are the routes we believe will lead us to those goals. Anya Sharma explained calmly and with assurance: hopeful people are not necessarily more optimistic than others. They simply have a stronger belief in their ability to find pathways to their goals, even when faced with obstacles. They see setbacks as temporary detours, not dead ends. But what happens when those pathways are blocked? What happens when our goals seem impossible to reach? This is where the real challenge lies. This is where we face the temptation to give up, to surrender to hopelessness. It's easy to become cynical, to see the world as a series of disappointments, to believe that nothing ever changes. But cynicism is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It closes us off to possibilities, it blinds us to opportunities, and it ultimately prevents us from creating the future we desire. The key to maintaining hope in troubled times is to focus on what we can control. We can't control the actions of others. We can't control the state of the world. But we can control our own thoughts, our own actions, and our own responses to adversity. This is where the concept of agency comes in. Agency is the belief in our ability to influence our own lives, to make choices that matter. It's the feeling that we're not just passive victims of circumstance, but active agents in shaping our own destinies. And how do we cultivate this sense of agency? First, by setting realistic goals. Not grandiose fantasies, but achievable steps that move us closer to our aspirations. Second, by breaking down those goals into smaller, manageable tasks. Third, by celebrating our successes, no matter how small. And fourth, by learning from our failures, seeing them as opportunities for growth, not evidence of our inadequacy. The transformation happens when we shift our focus from what's lacking to what's possible, when we stop dwelling on our limitations and start exploring our potential. When we embrace the power of small actions, the ripple effect of positive change. I lost everything in the fire: my home, my business, everything. For a while, I just wanted to give up. But then I realized I still had my hands, my mind, my spirit, and that was enough to start rebuilding, Maria said, authentic and hopeful. Hope is not a destination, it's a journey. It's not a feeling we possess, it's a practice we cultivate. It's the daily act of choosing to believe in the possibility of a better future, even when all evidence points to the contrary. It is to remember why the night is darkest just before dawn. And that is what makes us human. That is what allows us to survive, to thrive, to create a world that is more just, more compassionate, and more sustainable. Your pain is valid, your struggles are real, but you are not defined by them. You are defined by your capacity for hope. So how do we apply this understanding to our daily lives? How do we nurture the psychology of hope, not just in ourselves, but in our communities? By practicing gratitude, by focusing on the good things in our lives, no matter how small, by connecting with others, by offering support and compassion to those who are struggling, by celebrating the beauty and wonder of the world around us, by remembering that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit endures. Remember, hope isn't just a wish, it's a choice, it's a muscle. Flex it daily, strengthen it with action, share your story, inspire others. What small step will you take today to cultivate hope for yourself and for the world? If this video resonated with you, subscribe to @Timed Events for more explorations into the human experience. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What gives you hope in these times? Never underestimate the power of hope. It's the spark that ignites change, the light that guides us through darkness, the foundation upon which we build a better future.